आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरते यौपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओमित्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमुपासीत ओमिति ह्युद्गायते तस्योपव्याख्यानम्। सः द्वादशवर्षः उपेत्य चतुर्विंशतिवर्षः सर्वान् वेदान् अधीत्य Shvetaketu, who was 12 years old, Upetya, he went to the teacher, got initiated. Chaturvimshati Varshaha, until he was 24 years old. Sarvan Vedan Adhitya, having studied all the Vedas, and as Bhashyakara says, Tadartham cha buddhva, and also having understood or known, studied the meaning of the Vedas also. Mahamanaha Mahadgambiram Mano Yasya Asramam Atmanam Anyahi Manyamanam, thinks of himself as great, as nobody equal to me. Mahamanaha Anuchanamani, also very proud of being learned. Stabdaha, very stiff, unbending, immodest. Eyaya Graham, he came home under this kind of mental condition. Tat evam bhutam atmana ananupashilam, seeing the son who was behaving in an improper manner, unbecoming manner. Stabdam mayanam putram drashtva, seeing the son was immodest and very proud. Pita uvacha saddharmavatar chikirsha, the father spoke to him with a view to inculcate good behavior in him. Shvetaketu, Januidam Mahamana Anuchanamani Stabdaschasi, that hey Shvetaketu, you are very proud, you are thinking very highly of yourself, and you are very immodest. I find all this in you, which means that there must be something special in you, which makes you behave in this manner. And what is that thing? Kastya atishaya prapya upadhyaya, you must have gotten something. What excellence you have attained from your teacher that you are behaving in this manner? Utapi tamadesham aprakshya, did you ask for that instruction? Or did you ask for that truth which only requires to be instructed? Adishyadeti adesha so that which is instructed, that which is taught, that is called adesha, karma vyutpatti. Kevala shastracharya upadesha gamya mityetat. Meaning, hey Shvetiketu, there is something which is only available to know from the Shastra and the teacher and not otherwise. Did you ask for instruction of that? Yena param brahma adishyate sadesha. All the very teaching through which the param brahma is taught is also adesha, means instruction. So one word of adesha can be param brahma itself, other meaning of adesha can be the instruction. Tam adesham vishinasti. This adesha is specified here. Yena shrutam shrutam bhavati, amatam matam, avijñātam vijñātam iti. Yena ashrutam api shrutam bhavati. Yena adeshena shrutena. By listening to which adesha, which truth or which instruction. Ashrutam api anyashrutam bhavati. Other thing that is not heard of also becomes heard of. Amatam atarkitam tarkitam bhavati. What has not been reasoned out becomes reasoned out. So by reasoning out of which everything becomes reasoned out. Avijñātam vijñātam anischitam nischitam bhavati. What is not ascertained also, all becomes ascertained. Vidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva samshayah. Vidyate hridaya granthi, the knots of the heart are cut asunder, ignorance is gone. Chidyante sarva samshayah, all the doubts are gone. So by the Shravanam, the knowledge takes place and the knots are cut asunder. By Mananam, the samshayas, all the doubts are removed. So Mananam is basically tarka, reasoning. Atarkitam tarkitam bhavati, avijñātam anischitam nischitam bhavati. What is not properly ascertained, all becomes ascertained. No doubt remains, no vagueness remains at all in the life. Everything is just crystal clear. So when this becomes crystal clear, everything becomes crystal clear. Iti. Sarvana vedanitya saram chanyat vedyam adhigamyapi akrutatya bhavati yavat atmatvam nijanati iti akhyayikatah avagamyate. And from this dialogue we understand this, that sarvana vedanitya, having studied all the Vedas, aditya cha saram anyat vedyam adhigamya, and having known everything that is all knowable to be known, then also akrutateva bhavati, a person remains unfulfilled. Yavat atma tattvam na janati, until a person knows the truth of the self, until then a person remains unfulfilled. This is what we learn from this dialogue. Meaning, what is meant by krutasattvam, what is fulfillment is Shrutam bhavati, matam bhavati, vijñātam bhavati. Atmanivara drashte, shrute, mate, vijñāte. When Atma is known, heard of, thought of, then meditated upon, everything as well becomes known. So, knowing everything gives you the krutārthata, fulfillment. Here, knowing everything also is attaining everything. In fact, person wants to attain everything. He wants to become complete. He wants to possess everything. He does not want any lack or want. But here, fortunately, knowing is attainment. The knowing the 10th man is attaining the 10th man. Similarly also, knowing the self is attaining everything. So nothing remains to be attained. Nothing really remains to be known. Nothing remains to be accomplished. Nothing remains to be done. That's a fulfillment. Taditat adbhutam shrutva. Listening to this extraordinary thing. Katham etat aprasiddham anya vijñāyena anyad vijñānam bhavati iti. Aprasiddham. Something which is not familiar at all. That anyad vijñānena anyad vijñānam bhavati, anya vijñānena anyad vijñātam bhavati. That by knowing one thing, other thing becomes known. This is never heard of. By knowing a part, then you know the cloth. By knowing Devadatta, you know Yajnadatta. By knowing one thing, other thing is known, is never heard of. Most extraordinary, unfamiliar. So hearing this, Manvana Puchari, never thought of this. And so then Svediketu asked, Kathannu Kera Prakarane Bhagavah Sadesho Bhavaditi. Hey Bhagavan, O revered sir, in what manner? Never thought of this, never heard of this. So how can it be? In what manner is it that by knowing one thing, everything becomes known? What is the nature of the instruction? Or what is the nature of the truth? Now continuing to page 209. Says Bhashyakara, Yatha sa adesho bhavati tachshunu. Hey Svediketu, listen. The manner in which the instruction is, please listen to it from me. Go to the next passage now, fourth passage. Yatha saumya ekena mritpindena sarvam mrunmayam vijñātam syāt vācārambhanam vikāro nāmadheyam mrittigetyeva satyam. So, how is that instruction? What's the nature of the truth? Yatha saumya. So, what is the manner of instruction? How is it instructed that by knowing one thing, everything becomes known? Yatha saumya. Just as, O good-looking one, ekena mritpindena sarvam vijñāmrunmayam vijñātam syāt. Ekena mritpindena vijñātena. When one lump of clay is known, sarvam mrunmayam vijñātam syāt. Everything made of clay is as well known. How can it be? How can it be knowing the clay that you know the pots and pans and pitcher and everything? So whatever is made of clay, how is it possible? Because vācārambhanam vikāro nāmadheyam. In a pot also there are two elements here. One is clay, other is vikāra, transformation, modification. So there is the changeless here and the changing. Two aspects are there. By knowing as far as vikara is concerned, as far as the changing aspect is concerned, vācārambhanam, it only has speech as its basis, nāmadheyam, it is nothing more than a name. So what we call ghata, what we call pot, has its reality, nothing more than the word pot. That's all it is. There is no substance. There is here substance corresponding to the word clay, but there is no substance here corresponding to the word pot. All there is the name. That is why, had there been anything other than this clay, clay is the only thing here, had there been anything more than that, of course then it's certainly known, but there is nothing other than that clay here. Therefore, mrittika ityeva satyam, only mrittika, only clay is real, and Acharya call it mithya, call it appearance, call it not there in reality. So in this manner, by knowing one thing, everything as well becomes known. Says Bhashyakara, He soumya yatha loke ekena mritpindena घटशरावादि कारणभूतेन विज्ञातेन सर्वम् अन्यत् तद्विकारजातं मृन्मयं मृद्विकारजातं विज्ञातं स्यात्. He is Soumya, O good-looking one. Yatha, just as loke in our day-to-day life, ekena mritpindena vijnatena. Mritpinda, a lump of clay really, or a clod of earth when it is known. What is mritpinda? That's important. Ghatasharavadi karanabhutena. That is the nature of cause of a pot, of a pitcher, or so karga kumbhadi karanabhutena. Call it a pitcher, call it a pot. So this is important. What is mritpinda? What is meant by mritpinda, a lump of clay, is the cause of pots and pans and pitchers that are made of clay. That's called cause. Because you don't get the clay as such. You always get clay in a certain form. Says here, our Narayananandendra, in the last line, on the page 208, Mritpinda grahanena karanabhutam mrunmatram gruhyade natu pinda. Even though the word used is mritpinda, the lump of clay, what is meant is karanabhutam mrunmatram gruhyade. What is understood is purely clay, which is the cause of all parts which are made of clay. So by the lump of clay, you should not understand lump, you should understand only clay. Natu pinda, not clay, lump itself, but clay. By knowing the clay, everything made of clay becomes known. Tasya tadrupasya karanatva abhavad. That lumpness is not the cause. In a lump of clay also, the lumpness is not the cause, the clay is the cause. And so it is the clay that is understood here. So Ghatasharavadi Karanabhutena. So Vashyakara says, what is meant by Mritpinda is that is the cause of this various vessels, such as a pot, such as a pitcher, etc. Vijnatena. So when clay is known, Saramanyat tad vikarajadam, everything else which is the modification or transformation of clay, mrunmayam, mrud vikarajadam, vijnatam syat. What is mrunmaya? Maya pratyajam is vikara. So mrunmayan, mrud vikarajatam. So whatever is vikara, whatever is the modification or transformation of clay also becomes known. So Shanka is raised here. Or Anandagiri says, Mrud Memidasya Vyakhya Mrud Vikari Jatam. Where are we? Now that comes later. Okay. So Vashyakara continues. Katham Mritpinde Karane Vijnate Karyam Anyate Vijnatam Syad. Katham Mritpinde Karane Vijnate. When Mritpinda is the cause, when that is known, Katham how? Anyat Karyam is effect. So pot is a pot, clay is clay. So pot is an entity independent of clay. So when you know the clay, how do you know the pot? Karya means what? Effect. Product. And how do you know the effect? Because effect is different. Pot is not clay, pot is pot. That being the case, how do you say that? By knowing the clay, pot becomes known. Anyat, understand, karyam, anyat. Karyam and effect is anyat, different from the cause. So two views are there, that the effect is different from the cause. Other view is that effect is not different from the cause. So there are asatkaryavadina, there are Nayayikas and others who believe that the effect is not present in the cause. And therefore they say that the pot is not there in the clay. A non-existent pot in the clay comes into existence and therefore it is non-existence coming to existence. For them, the pot is different from clay, understand? But for the Vedantins, Sankhyas and Vedantins, Sat-Karyavadinah, they say that the effect is potentially there in the material cause, and therefore effect is not substantially different from the cause. That's how the answer is given here. So Prashna Abhiprayam Vivrunan Ashankate, Katham that Ashanka is present. Say Vikar says Narayana Nandra, Vikaro Mrityaka iti Uttaravakyasthena Padatrayana Karyakarana Abhedam Vadan Anyatva Siddhya Pariharate. Mrityaka ityeva Satyam. That's what is said in the Upanishad. Iti Uttaravakyasthena Padatrayana. By these three words, Mrityaka ityeva Satyam. So by these words, Karyakarana Abhedam Vadan. So that statement that clay alone is real. What is meant is that the effect is not separate from the material cause. That is what is sought to be conveyed there. Karyakarana Abhedam Vadan. So Vashyakara says that Upanishad clarifies how the effect is not separate from the material cause. Therefore, Anyatva Siddhya. You say that the effect is different from material cause. Anyatvam, that difference cannot be established. You cannot prove that the effect stands apart from the cause. Because take away the cause, no effect remains. Take away the clay, no pot remains. If pot was an independent entity, pot was independent of clay, then pot should continue to remain, continue to exist even when the clay is taken away. But take away the clay from the pot, nothing remains. That means that the pot is not separate from clay. Anyatva asiddhya. Anyatvam, the separatedness cannot be established. Iti pariharati naishadosha. Iti Bhashyakara says. Naishadosha karanena ananyatvat karyasya it's a mess. This one is a mess. Karyena ananyatvat karyasya. That karyam, the effect is ananyam, non-separate from the cause. Non-separate from the cause. So abheda is one thing, ananyatvam is another thing. Abheda is identity. So Vedanta does not say that the effect is identical to cause. Vedanta says effect is non-separate from the cause. And so that the effect cannot exist without the cause. Let it be clarified. Anandagiri says, Mrudmem ityasya vyakhya mrud vikara jatamiti. So mrudmem means mrud vikara jatam, the modification or transformation of clay. So thetha mrud pindena vijñātena vijñātam sāt tatha anyadipi sarvam karanena vijñātena tad vikara jatam vijñātam bhavati iti yojana. Just as when knowing the clay, what is the modification of clay becomes known, so also elsewhere, when the material cause is known, the effects are known. Anya vijñānam adrushtatvat asishtam iti shankate. Already let's discuss this. And knowing one thing, another thing cannot be known, so adrushtatvat, never seen that, and therefore This doesn't seem to be right, so that Shanka was raised, Kathamiri, that has been clarified. Kaya Karanayoho Ananyatva Siddhe Mayavandi Pariharati, that effect, not so Kaya Karanayo Ananyatva. Ananyatva. That between, what's the relationship between the cause and the material cause and the effect? Ananyatam, non-separatedness. So, Naisa Dosha. Tadeva Sphutayate. Or Sangra Vakyam, Vivrunote, Bhashikara explains that Vakyam. Yanmanyase Anyasmin Vijñāte Anyanna Jñāyate Te Satyamevam Syāt Yadi Anyata Karanāt Karyam Syāt Nato Evam Anyata Karanāt Karyam. Yanmanyase Anyasmin Vijñāte Anyatna Jñāyate. So that your opinion is that one thing, another thing cannot, by knowing one thing, other thing cannot be known, which is what you think. Satyameva Syāt, that is quite right. That another thing cannot be known, altogether a different thing cannot be known by knowing one thing. If cloth is an entity quite different from a part, then by knowing the part, that cloth cannot be known, is quite right. Your opinion is right. But this is a different case. Yadi anyat karanat karyam syat. Similarly also, if the effect was altogether independent of the cause, material cause, then what you say would have been okay. Natu evam anyat karanat karyam. But in this particular case, what's the case here? Material cause and the effect, understand? Example is the Mritpinda and Mridmayam. Mritpinda is the material cause, Mridmayam, the transformation of the effect. So that's what we are talking about. That in case of the material cause and the effect is not separate from the material cause. Anyatva bhave loka prasiddhi virodham shankate. Then doubt is raised, loka prasiddhi, but wait a minute. In the world, everybody thinks that pot is different from clay. Pot is a pot, clay is clay. Or as the other Tikakara says, Vacharambanam ityadi padatrayasyam shankamaha katham. See, both the Tikakaras have a slightly different way of explaining. Anandagiri says, Anyatva bhave loka prasiddhi virodham shankare. The shanka is loka prasiddhi virodha. That pot is different, pot is not separate from clay, is not something familiar to the people. And that is what is clarified. Here, Vacharambanam ityadi padatrayana paritso ityadi nirasyam shanka. So why the Upanishad Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadayam? That is to resolve a certain doubt which is raised here by Katham. Bhashyakara says, Katham tabhi idam loke idam karanam ayamasya vikara iti. One must should be added after here, ayamasya vikara iti. Then vyavahara iti shesha, vyavahara. Vyavahara shabda prayoga. If the effect is not different from the cause, then how come in the day-to-day life we say that this is the cause and this is the effect? We say that gold is the cause, ornaments are the effect, the transformation. So how come we use, this is how normally the expression is, this is the cause and this is the effect. So understand that the vyavahara also has some validity. People would not have been saying that this is in effect. Effect is mentioned separate from the cause. Meaning that some separateness is there. When people use different words, they use the word cause and the word effect. These two different words are there, which means that they must imply two different entities. Had it not been the case, why should people use two different words? Idam karanam ayamasya vikara iti. This is cause, this is this transformation. Why should they say that? So fact that vyavahara means shabda prayoga. The fact that people use this kind of expression means that some difference is there. When you say my hand, that means that this hand belongs to me, I am the possessor of hand. I am not the hand. That wisdom is conveyed. So when we say things, some understanding is conveyed in that. So people generally commonly understand a cause as cause and effect as effect. Which means implying thereby that there is some difference between cause and effect. Vacharambanamiti ityadi padatrayana pariharati. So this doubt, whether the effect is really separate from the cause, that doubt is resolved by the three words Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadhyam. Bhashyakara says, Shunu. Listen carefully. Vacharambanam, Vag Arambhanam, Vag Alambanam, Ityetat. Vacharambanam. Now Vacha Arambhanam. So says Anandagiri, Iti atra Vachai Tritiya Shashcharte Drishtabhya Vachaha Arambhanam. Something which is begun by Arambhanam, something that is begun by, which is begun by, something that is originated by speech. Vag Arambhanam, its beginning in the speech. Vag Alambanam, dependent upon speech. So there is something which is only created by speech. Something that is totally dependent on the speech, dependent only on the words. Bhashyakara says, Kosau Vikaro Namadheyam Nama eva Namadheyam Swarte Dhyaya Pratyaya. Koso Vacharamana. What is that is beginning only in the speech, dependent only on the speech? Vikara, effect, transformation. Namadheyam. What is Namadheyam? Nama eva Namadheyam. That suffix there does not add any meaning. It says Namadheyam means Namatram. It's only my name. Swarte Dhyaya Pratyaya. What is Swarte means? Does not add any new meaning. Namadheyam means Nama. So what is Vikara? Vikara or transformation is just a name. Says the Tikakara, Vikarasya Veda Vyavahara Alambanatve Punarapi Anyatvam Praptam. Vikarasya Veda Vyavahara Alambanatve. When we say use the word Vikara, it's a different word, which means that there is some differences there. So what then the Upanishad says, Namadheyam. It is only, the Vikara is nothing more than a name. Says Nanu Nama Vyatirekena Vikar Abhave Nirvishayatvam Prasajjeta. Now look, this is a very interesting point here. You say that this pot is nothing more than a name pot. So Nama Vyatirekena Vikar Abhave, with the entity called pot, is nothing more than a word pot. That means that there is no object pot here at all. So nirvishayatvam prasajjeta. Now you see, when you use the word clay, then there is a vishaya, an object, a substance corresponding to the word clay. But when you use the word part, there is no substance corresponding to the word part. In that case, the word part has no object at all. The word clay has a corresponding object here, but what the part does not have. You understand this? We use the two words clay and part. So this name and form is called part. Now, there is a substance called clay. So what I am touching, what I am holding, the weight that I am feeling, and all the properties belong to clay. But then, what is part? Take away the clay, what remains is nothing. So there is no entity corresponding to the word part. There is an entity here corresponding to the word clay, but there is no entity here corresponding to the word part. So then the questioner asks here, if this part is no more than the word part, that means that the word part has no corresponding object. The word clay has a corresponding object, but the word part has no corresponding object. Nirvishayatum prasajjeta. The word part is no vishaya, so it's nirvishaya, but a word must have a meaning. A pada must have artha. इति आशंक्य परमार्थतः विकार अभावे भी अनिर्वचनीय सत्यस्य सत्वात् न दोषः. Paramarthata vikar abhava, you are right. In reality, there is no substance corresponding to our part, but anirvachaniyasya. In an anirvachaniya, inexplicable way, there is an object called part, called mithya. So what is this? Therefore, it is true that in reality, there is no object called part. What object is clay? But in our mind, there is an entity called part. In our mind, we think there is something called part which is different from clay. Because part has a different kind of use, etc., which clay does not have. Therefore, in our mind, there is an entity called part. It's called anirvachaniyam. You can't explain it. Even though internally you feel that there is something called a part, if you ask what is the part, you can't explain it. What is part? Name and form. What is name and form? Take away the clay from this part and keep the name and form with you. Will you be able to do that? So that kind of a transaction that gave me the clay and you retain the name and form, well, that transaction cannot take place because there is name and form, doesn't have any substance at all. So when you think about it, it's okay. But still in your mind, you feel that there is something called part. Because part is a vyavaharik satyatvam, artha kriyakaritvam. The word part can be defined as an entity having a narrow mouth and a large belly. And something in which you can fill water, you can carry the water, fetch water, you can fill water. There the usefulness is there. It is a name in form and usefulness. So in our mind, the part enjoys a separateness in some way. Understand? It's inexplicable separatedness. When you try to explain what part is, you cannot explain because logically speaking, the word part does not have any substantiality. But somehow in our mind, the word part seems to enjoy a certain reality. This is called mithya, which is not really there, but which is thought to be there. So, anirvachaniyasya tasya sattvat. So, anirvachaniya, inexplicable part is there. A real part is not there, and inexplicable part is there. Therefore, na dosha. So, vyavahar also is okay. Otherwise, the whole vyavahara would have been wrong. Vyavahara also is okay because in inexplicable way, the part is there. Although in real way, the part is not there, in inexplicable way it is there. So, Bhashyakara says, Vagalambana matram Namaiva kevalam Na vikaro nama Vastu asti. परमार्थतः मृत्तिका इत्येव तो मृत्तिका एव सत्यम वस्तु अस्ति। Vag alambana matram, merely dependent upon the speech. Nama eva kevalam, what is called vikara transformation is kevalam nama eva, is just a word, that's all, the name, that's all. There is no form corresponding to name. The name can be called valid provided the form corresponding to name, but here there is no substance corresponding to word part. न विकारो नाम वस्तु अस्ति परमार्थतः. What's called vikara or effect or transformation, in reality there is no such entity which is transformation of a material cause. Mrittika ityeva satyam, mrittika eva satyam vastu iti. In example of the clay and the pot, the clay alone is the real thing. Vikarasya mithyatve kim paramata asti. Mrittika, vikara is mithya. What is real? Mrittika alone is real. Go to line 15. Nanu vikarasya sattve tatra sad buddhir nasyadita ashankya. If vikara, if pot is non-existent, now what happens is pot is a non-existent entity. In our mind it enjoys some kind of existence. The clay is an existent entity, pot is not an existent entity, and still in our mind it enjoys some kind of existence. Yat kinchit asti. Nanu vikarasya sattve tatra sad buddhir na syat. Then how come in our mind we think that this pot is real? Iti ashankya mrittika eva satyam idane pariharti mrittika eva iti satyam. So Bhashyakara said, there is something real here. What is it? Mrittika, the clay is real. That's the reason why our mind gives reality even to pot. So pot is real from the standpoint of clay. Pot is not real from the standpoint of name and form, but pot is real from the standpoint of clay. Nanu tasyapi vikaratvat asatvat asatvam. But then, hey, wait a minute. Clay itself is also a transformation. Clay itself is a modification. Clay is not the original substance. So clay also is a vikara. So clay also is not there. Therefore, clay also is unreal. Ashankya iti shabdena parihati. Mritrika iti eva satyam. That iti is important. Iti. So Bhashyakara, so mritrika eva satyam vastu asti. Says Tikakara, iti anena prakarena moola karaneva satyam tat satta eva sarvikare pratiyate iti unnayamiti sheshaha. Iti is what? Prakaravachi shabda. Like a clay. So like a clay is real in the example of pot and clay. So like a clay, not clay. So what is clay? Upadana karana, material cause. So like clay means what? Material cause alone is real and not the effect. Iti anena prakarena. So what iti is prakaravachi, like a clay. Moola karanam eva satyam. The moola karanam, the original cause, whatever is the original material cause, that is real. In case of the universe of names and forms also, whatever is the original material cause. Here, in case of pot and clay, we just said that the clay is real, meaning thereby that the whatever is the upadana karanam. Here word clay stands for upadana karanam, material cause. Whatever the material cause is real. Similarly, in case of the universe also, whatever is its original material cause, that is real. tat sattaya sarvikaya pratiyate. It is the reality of clay that is evident in the pot. Similarly also, whatever is the original material cause, asti, bhati, priyam. So the asti, bhati, priyam, that's satta. The satta, the reality of asti, bhati, priyam alone is evident in everywhere. So that you feel that the pot also is real. So what imparts the reality? Asti, bhati, priyam imparts the reality to pot. So whatever reality is there in the pot that you feel belongs to the original material cause, asti, bhati, priyam. Not being able to distinguish that. Not being able to distinguish that the reality belongs to clay, we take the pot also as real, although the reality that the pot displays belongs to clay. Not recognizing that, we take the pot also to be real. Similarly, the world also appears to be real. Not recognizing that the reality the world reflects belongs to asti, bhati, priyam, Satchit Ananda or Param Brahma, which is the Mula Upadana Karanam, the original, the primordial material cause. The Tikakara continues, Akshararthastu Iti Shabda Prakara Vachana. That word Iti is to say Prakar, the type. Mritrika Iti, Mritrika Prakaravat. So like the clay, just as the example of pot and clay, the clay is real. Similarly, where the clay stands for the material cause for the pot. Tat prakarasya upadanatvam mritika prakaravat moola karanam satyam ityartha. So mritika is, what's the prakara? Is upadana karanat, upadanatvam. So just as the clay is the material cause of the pot and is real, so also the material cause is real. Nanu evapi karyasya paramarthatah karana vyatirik abhavepi anirvachaniyasya bhedasya sattvat. Still he says, nanu evapi karyasya paramarthatah karana vyatirik, all right. Even though in reality, the pot is not separate from clay. But you did accept some kind of difference, anirvachaniya. You said that the pot enjoys a certain inexplicable difference. Even though in reality the pot is not separate from clay, the pot does enjoy some inexplicable difference from the clay. That anirvachaniya, inexplicable difference is there. Kasam karana jnanena karya jnana vidichet. If the inexplicable difference also is there, then that means some difference is there. Then how do you that means karya is different? Then how do you say that by knowing the karana, you know the karya? Says na vastu tattva jnanamehi vastu jnanam. What is knowledge? Knowledge is the knowledge of the truth of that. Vastu tattva jnanam. So what tattva means what? The tasya bhava tattvam. Whatever is the reality of this thing, knowledge of that alone is called the knowledge. Aropita rajatadi rupena dhyate vastuni shuktikam janaditi vyavahara adarshana. Aropita rajatadi rupena dhyate vastuni. See, in the example of the shuktika and rajata, example of the shell and the silver that is superimposed upon the shell. Aropita rajatadi rupena jnate. So when you know that entity as silver, you don't say that shuktikam janati. Nobody says that. You know the shell. So even though you say that this is silver, that's not knowledge. You've not known that object. So when you call that object silver, it's not vastu tattva jnana. It's some kind of knowledge is there, which is called brahma, is not knowledge. So when have you really known that thing? Only when you know that entity as shuktika, as the shell, the alone you have known it and not otherwise. Vastunasya tattvam upadanameva. Therefore, you have known that entity truly only when you know it as Shuktika, as a shell. Tad vijnane sarvikarajatam jnatameva iti. So even though the example is given of the clay and pot, really example is one of the Shuktika and Rajata. That when you know the Shuktika, Rajata is as well known. Or when you know the rope, snake is as well known. Or anything. So somebody may look upon that as a snake, somebody looks upon that as a stick, somebody looks upon that as a line of water, somebody looks upon that as a crack in the earth, somebody looks upon that as a garland. These are all vikara. And so, when you know the rope, all these things are as well known because they do not have any reality. So Vedantins bring back that example. Although then ultimately it will be proven that even pot also is superimposed upon clay, and therefore also Vivartatvam will have to be shown there. If there is what we call the Parinami Upadana Karanam, and therefore if the clay is thought to be the Parinami Upadana Karanam, that won't work. Clay also has to be Vivarta Upadana Karanam. So by knowing the Vivarta Upadana Karanam, the Karya is as well known because there is no real Karya at all. एतत् अभिप्रेत्य वाचारम्भण श्रुत्या कारण व्यतिरेकेण कार्य असत्वोक्ति पूर्वकम तस्य कारणमेव तत्वमिति उक्तम. Meaning that you know a thing when you know its material cause, because in that thing there is no substance other than the material cause. The only reality which is there in anything is its material cause. In the cloth, the only reality that is there is the cotton. In the table, the only reality is there, which is the wood. And so, therefore, knowing that reality, inasmuch as the table is nothing other than wood, therefore, by knowing the wood, the table is as well known. Therefore, karana vyatirekena karya asatva ukti. Vacharambram vikaro namadayam. By saying vikara is merely name and nothing more than that, it says that the effect is non-existent apart from cause. So mritika ityeva satyamiti. You can go to the previous page, page 209. Anyway, this I'm not going to bother about, all those footnotes. Continue to page 212. Yatha somya eke lohamana sarvam lohamayam vijñātam syāt vācārambhanam vikāro namadheyam lohamityeva satyam. Another example. Yatha somya ekena lohamanina. What is lohamani? A lump of gold. Sarvam lohamayam. So loha does not mean iron, loha means gold. Ekena lohamanina saram lohamayam vijñātam syāt. By knowing one lump of gold, everything made of gold is as well known. Vacharambanam, Vikaranavadayam, whatever ornaments which are the transformations are only Nama, the bangle and the earring, all of these are nothing more than a name. There is no substance other than gold in that. Lohamityeva satyam, the gold alone is real. Vashyakara says, Yatha soumya ekena lohamanina swarnapindena sarvam anyad vikarajatam katagam mukuta keyurade vijñātam syāt vācārmanam ityādi samānam. Yatha soumya, just as, O good looking one, ekena lohamanina, meaning suvarnapindena. So by one lump of gold, when it is known, vijñātena sarvanyad vikarajatam, everything which is a transformation of gold, such as kataka, mukuta, keyuradi, whether it's a bangle, whether it's a crown, or it's the armband, vijñātam syāt is all known. Vācāram ityādi samānam, the rest is explained as before. Next one. Yatha soumya ekena nakha nikruntanena sarvam karshnayasam vijñātam syāt vācārambhanam vikāro nāmadeyam krishnāyasamityeva satyam evam soumya sa ādesho bhavati te. Yatha soumya ekena nakha nikruntanena, a nail cutter, nakha nikruntanam, a nail clipper. Sarvam karshnayasam vijñātam syāt, whatever is made of gold, the iron is as well known. Vācārambanam vikāranāmadhayam, what is transformation is only dependent upon the speech. Namadhayam is just nothing more than a name. Krishnayasam ityeva satyam, it is the I am which alone is real there. Iti soumya evam soumya sa ādesho bhavati. He soumya, oh good looking one, this is how the instruction is. Katham sa ādesho bhavati, katham nu sa ādesho bhavati iti. How can there be something by knowing which everything becomes known? How can it be? This is how it is. So evam sa ādesho bhavati iti. Vashyakara says, Yatha soumya ekena nakha nikruntanena upalakshitena krishnāya sapindena ityartha. Nakha nikruntanena, meaning why the nail cutter upalakshitena, what is implied is the krishnāya sapinda. What is implied is the lump of iron. So instead of saying lump of iron, they said nakha nikruntana. But what we should understand is lump of iron. Sarvam karshnayasam krishnayasa vikarajatam vijñātam syāt. Sarvam karshnayasam, so krishnayasa vikarajatam, what is the modification or transformation of iron is as well known. Samanamanyata, rest is the same. So says Anandagiri, ekena drishtantena vakshirāta siddho kim aneka drishtantho pādānena ityāsaṅkya. So what do these two addition, two more examples? By knowing one lump of gold, everything made of gold is as well known. By knowing lump of iron, everything made of iron is as well. So what do they contribute? When you say by knowing the lump of clay, everything made of clay is as well known, that is sufficient. So why should I have so many examples? Vashyakara says, Aneka Dushtanta Upadanam, says, Aneka Dushtanta Upadanam, Dashtantika, Aneka Bheda Anugamartham, Dudha Pratityartham cha. Aneka Dushtanta Upadanam, the reason why so many illustrations are given is Dashtantika. What is Dashtantika? This Drishtanta. What is Dashtanta? The whole universe. So with the example of the pot and clay, the teacher seeks to explain the reality of the whole universe. The whole universe is name and form, and such variety is there. And even Chhandogya also will show that this universe is the transformation of the three elements, the fire, water and earth. So Dashtanta, so what is illustrated, namely the universe as Aneka Bheda Anugamartham. There are so many Veda, so many such diversity is there, therefore these examples are given. I have a footnote which reads, Dashtantake Aneke Bhedaha Tejo Bandha Rupaha. Fire, water, earth, Tesham Sangrahartham, to include all the modifications. In case, just one example if I give, says, wait a minute, universe has so many causes and so many effects. So universe has all these divergent effects. How can I explain divergent effect by one example? Therefore, divergent examples are given. This is said by this Tikakara in the line 27 also. Lohamani Shabdasya Nakha Nikrundana Shabdasya cha Vikaravasitvat. Lohamani and Nakha Nikrundana, both are modifications. A nail cutter also is not the original substance, there is also a transformation. A Lohamani, even a lump of gold, a tablet of gold also is not the original substance, there are also Vikara. Vikaravachitvat tat shabdena tadgata karana amshah lakshadaya. What is implied is the karanam, the gold in the tablet, or the iron in the nail cutter. Suvarnapinda ityadina. Dashtandika iti dashtandike aneke bhedaha vilakshanani tejah prabhutini karyani teshu anugamaha. So many causes are there here. Fire is one cause from which so many things are made. Water is another cause from which so many other things are made. Earth is third cause from which yet other things are made. And that themselves again, fire is the effect, water is the effect, earth is the effect. Teja prabhutini karyani, teshu anugamaha. In all of them, the Sat, Chit, Ananda, Asti Bhadi Priyam is Anugamaha, is present. Sarvatra Karana Vijnanena Vijnadatvasya Sambhavana. And thus to show the possibility that by knowing the cause, the effect is as well known. So before we proceed further, look at Narendra Puriyam Tippanam on that page. Dashtandike Aneka Veda Anugamarthamiti ayam artha. Sadanvitaha bhavaha sat prakritikaha vijnana anuviddaha vijnayaha vijnana prakritikaha priyatva anuviddaha priyaha ananda prakritikaha. So Narendra Puri explains it differently. There are three things: Sat, Chit, Ananda, Asti, Bhati and Priyam. Asti is Sat, Bhati is Chit, and Priyam is Priyam. So says Sat Anvitaha Bhavaha Sat Prakritikaha. So all those objects in which the Sat or existence inherent, they are all the transformations of Sat. So all those things which have Sat or existence is inherent, They are all the transformations of Sat or existence. Vijnana anuviddaha, vijnayaha, vijnana prakritikaha. All the objects that are known, in all the objects that are known, knowledge is contained. So they have their cause in knowledge. All the things that are there has existence contained in them, so they are all transformation of existence. All the things that are known have knowledge, as the substratum, as the common denominator, they are all modification of knowledge. And all things that are dear. So three things are there. The things are there existing, things are known, and those things are dear. So priyatvam viddaha, priyaha, ananda prakritikaha. So priyatva, so those which contain priyatvam, the attractiveness. So they are the modification of ananda. So modification, transformation of sat, transformation of chit, and transformation of ananda. So that's why three examples are given. So there the three is teja, ab, annam. That were three. Here the three is asti, bhati, priyam. Now when you say this, wait a minute, in the world there is dukkha also. And there is the ignorance also. So everything is not known, there is ignorance also. Everything is not attractive, there is dukkha also. So how do you include them? So if you include asti, bhati, priyam, how about the opposite? It says, tarhi dukkha anuviddaha, maudhya anuviddascha, rajas tamas prakritikaha iti. So you say that all sattva prakritikaha. But there is rajas tamas also. Rajas means dukkha, tamas means mudata or delusion. So there is dukkha also, pain in the life, delusion also in the life, and they have their origin in rajas and tamas. So there is happiness in life, all right, which has its origin in ananda. So you can say ananda prakritikaha. All the sattvic objects have their prakriti or the cause in ananda. But how are the objects that are rajas and tamas? And they give dukkha, rajas things. Tamas they create only mudata or delusion. That means you have to accept that there are substances which have their origin in rajas and others in tamas. So says rajas tamas prakritikaha iti rajas tamasoho mula karanatva prasangayati ched. So not only sattva is mula karanam, rajas also is mula karanam for dukkha, and tamas also is mula karanam for delusion. So three mula karanam is there, not one. Iti ched. That's a question. No, the answer is no. Tayoho sat anuviddhatve sat prakritikatvat mula karanatva anupatte. Says no. Even when dukkha is there, even when sorrow is there, sorrow is. Even when you say that there is delusion, delusion is. So sat is there in all of them. So tayoho sat anuviddhatve, even rajas also is, tamas also is. So in rajas also the sat or existence or being is contained there. So there is anuviddham, that is threaded in there, meaning that is very much present in there, pervasive there. Sat pragyatvat mula karanatva anupatte. Even though rajas can be the cause of dukkha, but rajas itself has its cause in the sat. Tamas can be the cause of mudata, delusion, but tamas also has its cause in sat. Therefore, rajas tamas are cause alright, not mula karana. Mula karana is sat. But how about maya? Mayayaha sat shabdavachye pravishtatvat sadanvaya asiddha. So maya also is. He says no. Maya doesn't have business. Mayaha sat shabdavachye pravishtatvat. Maya is already included in sat. Maya therefore does not have a separate existence. Sadanvaya asiddha. Maya does not have any reality in there. Sat vijnana anandan sat vijnana anandanancha paraspara avyabhicharat. But then, are you accepting three original causes, Sat and Vijnana and Ananda? Are there three original causes or what? So says, Sat Vijnana Anandanancha Paraspara Avyabhichara. They are never without each other. Where Sat is there, there also Vijnanam is there and Ananda is there. Where Vijnanam is there, Sat is there, Ananda is there. Where Ananda is there, Sat also is there, Vijnanam also is there. Paraspara Avyabhicharat. They are never excluding each other. Therefore the three are always together. Therefore Aikyat. Even though we use three words, all right, but really there is only one entity. What is Sat? Alone is Chit, alone is Ananda. What is Asti? Is Bhati, is Priyam. Because when can you say that this object is Asti? When you get, only when Bhati, only when it shines in your consciousness. And when can it shine in your consciousness? Only when it is. If it is not there, it cannot shine. It shines because it is there. And how do you say it is there? Because it shines. So to be and to shine is one thing. And attractiveness also is because it is. And how do you say it is? Because it is attractive. Therefore, Asti Bhati Priyam, they are always together. Therefore, they are one. Aikyat Anvai Anvidabhav Asiddhe. So you cannot say that Chit has its Anvaya in Sat, Ananda has also its Anvaya in Sat. That is not there. Chit alone is Sat and Ananda alone is Sat. Karanatva Upalakshitam Anuruta Jad Dukkhade Viruddham Ekarasam Siddhyati. Therefore, so that is implied by what we call Karanatva, the causality. What is that? Viruddham. Anuruta Jada, so Dukkhade Viruddham. Opposed to unreal, opposed to dukkha or unhappiness, opposed to jadam or inert. So there was Asti, Bhati, Priyam. Asti is opposed to non-existence. Bhati is opposed to jadam or inert. Priyam is opposed to dukkha. Ekarasam. Don't think that Asti, Bhati, Priyam are three things. They are one thing. Ekarasam Siddhyati. A homogeneous truth alone is established. We come back to page 212. In the Abhinava Narayanananda Saraswati Tika, which is page, the line 15, I think, Vidya Prakashetu, 15th line, right? So on page 212, Vidya Prakashetu Adhara Adhyatmakam Karana Karyarupadvayam Militam Ghata iti uchyate. What is Vidya Prakasha? Anubhuti Prakasha. So Swami Vidyaranya also has composed this text Anubhuti Prakasha. What is Anubhuti Prakasha? All the Karikas written in Upanishad. Just as Gaudapadacharya wrote the Karikas on Mandukya Upanishad. So also Vidyaranya Swami has written Karikas on all the Upanishads, all major Upanishads. And that collection is called Anubhuti Prakasha. In there, Chhandogya Upanishad is the third chapter. So in the third chapter now, explaining this particular passage, what does Vidyaranya Swami say? Adhara Adhyatmakam Karya Karana Karupam Dvayam Militam Ghata iti uchyate. He says, what is Ghata? What is pot? Adhara Adhyatmakam. There is Adhara, that is the Ashraya support, and Adhyaya which is supported. Karana Karya. There is clay which is the cause, and name and form which is effect. So what's the relationship between them? Adhara, Adhyaya. The clay is the Adhara, the basis, and the pot is what is based upon. So Militam. So these two things combined is called pot. So pot is the combination of two entities, Adhara and Adhyaya. Clay and name and form. Clay is the adhara, the support, and the pot is what is supported. Tatra adharamshe jnate vastu jnatameva. In that, if you know the adharamsha, adhara means if you know that which is support or the basis, then the adhya is already known. So by knowing the adharamsha, the adhya is already known. Iti. Gopuchha sparshe, gosparshavad. If you want to touch the cow, touch the tail. So there is some vrata in which you have to touch the cow. So what do you do? Touch the cow. Touch the tail, you as well touch the cow. So cow is adhara and tail is adheya. Cow is the support and tail is what is supported. So knowing one, by touching one, how you touch the whole thing. Similarly also, by knowing the clay, you know the whole pot. Iti. Tatha ahuhu. Akrutyadhara bhagoyo ghatasya tu buddhyate. Akruti adhara bhaga yo ghatasya. A ghata or a pot has two bhaga. Akruti, it is a form, and adhara, it has the substance or it has the basis. Ghatasya asautu buddhyate. That's how the ghata is. Adhara matra bhage jnate jnato ghato bhavet. Of that, if you know the adhara bhaga, which is clay, then the pot becomes known. Gopuchmata samsvarshat gosparsha vrata purtivata. Just as by touching the tail of the cow, your vrata of touching the cow is satisfied. Similarly also, so by knowing one part of the cow, by touching one part of the cow, how you touch the whole cow. Similarly, by knowing one part of the pot, which is adhara, you know the whole pot. Akrute yad vadajnate ghata jnanam tvayoচ্yate tadvat adhara bodhena ghato buddha kuto nahi. There are lots of questions here. Question is, how can you say that you have known the pot by knowing the clay? Because pot is much more than clay. Pot is a form, pot is a name, pot is a use. And all these things are not known by knowing the clay. So how do you claim that you have known the pot by knowing the clay? That's why it is saying that adhara matra bhagevi, just by knowing the adhara, which is a real substance. Jnate jnato ghato bhave, the ghata is as well known. See, drishtanta is clay and the pot, that is why all the difficulties. If the drishtanta was rope and snake, the difficulty would not have been there. Because everybody knows that snake doesn't have substantiality. Everybody thinks that pot has substantiality, that is why the questions are there. If, however, the example of rope and snake, the questions would not arise. But these questions do arise because the example is of the clay and the pot. And so the author asks him, Akrutehe yadvadajnane ghata jnanam tva. You say that if you do not know the akruti, the shape of the pot, meaning the other aspects of pot, you not known the pot. He claims that you can't say you known the pot simply by knowing the clay. If you don't know the form, then you not known the pot. So author says, just as you claim that by not knowing the form, you not known the pot, then we say that tadat adhara bodhena ghato buddha kuto nahi. Similarly also, by knowing the adhara, why not you have known the pot? So if by not knowing one aspect of pot, the pot is unknown. See this, what does he say? If you do not know the details about the pot, who made it, what is its volume, and etc., then you have really not known the pot. Even if you know the clay, you have not known the pot. Meaning that by not knowing one aspect of pot, you have not known the pot. If by not knowing one aspect of pot, you have not known the pot, then by knowing one aspect of pot, you know the pot also. You see, by the same, you understand this. You say that by not knowing one aspect of pot, namely akruti, you have not known the pot, even though you have known the clay. We say that by the same token, you reverse that. By not knowing one aspect, if you do not know the whole thing, then by knowing one aspect, you know the whole thing also. So tadat adhara bodhena ghato buddho buddha kuto nahi. So then, by knowing the adhara, the basis, which is the clay, why can't you also say that you know the part? We'll continue tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.